In this tutorial, we will focus on psychoanalytic psychotherapy. Psychoanalytic theory is past-orientated, based on the disease model of pathology, and focuses on the deficits of a person as a result of the influence of past early childhood experience and current functioning. In essence, psychoanalytic therapy is a reconstruction of a client's past in the context of adult analysis. Psychoanalytic theory and therapy was developed by Sigmund Freud from the late 19th century and has undergone many refinements since his work. Coming to its height of prominence in the 1960s. Although its validity is now largely disputed and criticized, his examinations of developments aspects of the personality produce valuable insights into the personality structure and how defense mechanisms are employed to balance the id and superego with perceived construct of reality, whereby a healthy state of consciousness is maintained. Essentially, Freud laid the foundations of understanding the aspects of human thought and behavior that arise from our basic instincts and subconscious mind. From the foundations of early experiences, a person projects his or her unconscious impulses and conflicts. Therefore, in psychoanalytic psychotherapy, the client is encouraged to reveal such issues with the aid of various techniques such as free association, behavioral observation, transference, and dream analysis. Freud believed that changes in personality were possible, but was questioning the practical merits of psychoanalysis to effect such a change. According to Ellis, Abrams, Masbourne, and Frey, 209. He conceded that the process of psychoanalysis is a long and difficult one that requires sophisticated verbal, intellectual, and analytical skills of the therapist, with a real possibility to provoke anxiety and distress by the explorations of a client's past. Despite Freud's inclination to emphasize the challenges that face psychoanalytic approach, there is empirical evidence of the efficacy of psychodynamic therapy. In addition, clients appear to maintain therapeutic gains and continue to improve after treatment completion, according to Shedler 210. A meta-analysis study by DeMatt, DeJong, Shovers, and Decker 209 also concluded that long-term psychoanalytic therapy is effective in symptom reduction as well as personality change, and to a lesser extent, it is significant in terms of quality of life and relapse prevention. Nonetheless, it is clear that psychoanalytic therapy is a long journey that may not be suitable for or effective for resistant or younger clients and those patients with psychopathology. Freud agreed that it is a long-term and intricate process. Psychoanalytic observation reaching back into childhood from a later time and contemporary observation of children combined indicate to us still other regularly active sources of sexual excitation. The direct observation of children has the disadvantage of working upon data which are easily misunderstandable. Psychoanalysis are made difficult by the fact that it can only reach its data as well as its conclusions. After long detours, a cooperation by two methods can attain a satisfactory degree of certainty in findings. 2000, page 67. Several techniques are used to explore those aspects of self that are fully known as they are manifested influence in the therapist-client relationship. In psychoanalysis, the focus areas of exploration, according to Shedler 210, are 1, effect and expression of emotion, the psychoanalysis. The therapist helps the client describe unpleasant, contradictory, threatening, troubling, and repressed feelings to cultivate emotional insight. 2, attempts to avoid distressing thoughts and feelings, mechanisms of defense and resistance that are deliberately or inadvertently applied to avoid aspects of undesired experiences and focused on an avoidance is significantly raised a relative to negative feeling and problematic behavior, the client's effect and role in shaping events are examined directly and without compromise. 3, recurring themes and patterns. A client may be unaware or aware, but unable to manage painful or self-defeating recurring themes and patterns in their thoughts, feelings, self-concept, relationships, and life experiences. The psychoanalytic therapist guides the client to recognize and understand these. 4, past experience. Our present experience is significantly affected by past events, especially early experiences of attachment figures. Therefore, the focus is on past in relation to present problems, and the client is encouraged to explore and understand the effects in order to free themselves from the bonds of the past. 5, interpersonal relations. When object and attachment relationships are unsatisfying and do not meet emotional needs, psychological difficulties often arise. The client is assisted to establish adaptive personality and self-concept aspects to improve prosocial skills and attitudes. 6, therapy relationship. The therapist-client relationship is considered vital in the psychoanalytic process, as problematic themes and patterns tend to emerge in some form of the therapeutic relationship. These are aspects of transference and counter-transference and provide an opportunity to explore and analyze the client's interpersonal themes in vivo. 7, fantasy life. Clients are encouraged to speak freely and engage in free association that provides a rich source of information of their thoughts, desires, fears, fantasies, dreams, and hopes, which signal their views of themselves, others, and the world, as well as aspects of experiential avoidance and the interpretation of reality. It follows that psychoanalytic therapy sessions are largely unstructured, without a predetermined agenda and open-ended. These excessive, long and costly nature of psychoanalytic therapy, together with the potential to harm a client by deeply intrusive explorations and unrelenting focus on psychopathology as an illness that can increase internal conflict and instability, have caused sustained criticism over time. As an application of the principle of the cause and effect of human behavior, the psychoanalytic theory arguably remains valuable in the sense that it explains many features of behavior as products of circumstances in past experiences of an individual, according to Skinner, 1954. However, Freud's conception also encouraged misinterpretation of understanding, page 77, because of its complex and abstract nature that are thought to have obscured important details among the variables of which human behavior is a function. The most unfortunate effect of all, however, is the neglect of analysis of behavior as telling manifestation of any experiences. Therefore, there is an unquantifiable sense of psychoanalytic theory that largely ignores the dynamic nature of behavioral processes in a constant flux in favor of the notion of fixations on early stages of development. However, the concept of defense mechanisms that are at first short-term solutions to cope with the distress and deprivation of emotional needs that are reinforced and firmly established through repetition and over ritualization have remained valid and useful in self-development of modern cognitive theories. In that sense, it is true that the past lives on in the present. In other words, we viewed the present through the lens of past experience and therefore tend to distort the present reality by repeating and recreating aspects of our past.